Welcome back to Tips Farm. Today we're going to try to make a DIY pond aerator, so stay tuned. So I got roughly the center cleaned up. Now time to actually mark where I want to cut. So this drum is 36 inches tall, so I'm just gonna mark it at 18-inch mark. Make a bunch of marks. And then I'm going to draw a nice little line that I can follow with the saw. Around to the other side. I'm going to trace that around. So I do plan on kind of making two of these drums, so there we go. I just hope that nope. Could I just do a punch cut with this sawzall? Yeah, I probably could. All right, so I got the drum cut into two halves. So already got a couple of holes. I want to make a bunch more. I want to make a couple on the bottom. I don't want too many on the bottom because the bottom of the pond is full of muck, and I don't want that sump pump pulling up muck. It is designed for affluent, so a little bit of muck shouldn't hurt it, but I want to try to limit as much as I can. And I also kind of want to see if there's a way to attach this to the bottom of the battery. I'm thinking zip ties. Big ol' beefy zip ties. So let's get the drill and start drilling some holes. This is wrong. No. I think I'm going to have a slight change of plans. it's now staying in there. Alright, so I gotta connect this. I'm not gonna glue it up just yet. I don't know exactly how tall I'm gonna need this. But ta-da! I now have, you know, something that can spray straight up. Oh. Oh boy. So I got a T-valve. I'm going to put a reducer. I got to drill that out somewhat to 1 inch. Get rid of this lip. Alright, cool. Now the 1 inch tube fits all the way in. See? Just like we will want. Saying, but now you can't connect it. Wrong. But I do need to cut this down to I need to cut about a 45-degree angle, roughly. All right, there we go. My 45-degree, roughly. Wait, where are you? There you are. There you go. Roughly 45. I know it's not exactly 45, but it's eyeballed. So basically, what we're gonna do, we're gonna shove this, making sure that the back side, not the front side, the back side is where the water is flowing in from. So inlet, outlet. There's the outlet, there's the water inlet. I guess now is a good time to go figure out where I want this pump in that pond, because then it'll tell me how high this riser has to be. All right, so since I'm going to be putting this particular one into the shallow pond full of pond muck, I'm just going to make sure that the top part of this, the actual air part of the aerator, stays above the water. Now I measured as best I could through the pond muck, and the muck is about 12 inches deep. And the water level is only about 3 inches higher than that. So, as is right now, this is definitely going to be sitting up above the water line unless I go and clear a spot out, which I have a plan for that. I don't know how well it's going to work, but I have a plan, and I'll show you guys. So I'm thinking this, I'm just going to let it rest here. I'll probably figure a way to fasten this T to this big bucket, and that gives me just under, oh yes, right, yeah, just under 42 inches, which even with whenever we do get flooding, that should keep this The water will probably get up to about here on a real bad flood. But since the entire system is going to be above air, once the floodwaters retreat, this pipe should go and start pulling air back in once it gets above, and in theory it should restart the aeration. Otherwise it's just going to be pumping water around, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because that pond, super slow moving water. So I mean, even if it is just moving water, should help with that pond muck, but the air should really help it. Now it's going to find out how high I got to cut that. Eyeballing it, looks like it's about 13 inches. But that's not a true 13. Oh, that wasn't even in the, yeah, I guess that was. Alright, so I got my mark. Here's the 90-degree elbow. So I'm going to need, let's see, 5.5 inches plus 1.25 plus 3/4. So 1.25, 3/4. We'll just call that 2. We said what? 4. Anywhere from 3 to 5. So we'll go 4. So 2 plus 4 is 6. So measure down about 6 inches. And we'll mark it and cut it. And we shall test fit it. It looks like a good fit. And then, as far as the actual outlet, I guess it could be as long or as short as I want it. Screw it. Throw that together. I'm going to drill a hole on each side of here so I can throw another zip tie. Probably, let's see, yeah, 32 zip ties. One hole in the front, one hole in the back. we go. Now time to take everything apart and glue it all up. All right, so ta-da! Let's lay this all out and get it so that you guys can see too. There we go. So that's the riser. That goes into the pump. Here's the 90. Here's the connector. Ta-da! All right, let's go ahead and start priming all these up. Make sure you guys can see me. Let's go ahead and glue these ones together. Don't try squeezing out. And she's locked. Before I connect this 90, I'm going to install this. I'm also going to glue this one up right here. Now, as far as this one, I'm going to have to come much higher. Not exactly sure where I need it, so it's going to get purple. Now, I'm only going to glue the one side. and make sure that we're actually pointed. Oh, there we go. Pointed in the direction I want. So now, I'm gonna, the little connector, connect that up too. Now I want to go and keep this relatively straight. So, eyeball straight, good enough. I mean, it's going out into my pond. If it looks straight, it's straight enough. And the last piece, which I may cut down in the future. All right. As you can see, I only finger tight these. And I swear the next time I go to use these, I'm going to end up having to use channel locks to go and open them up again. Doesn't matter how hard you tighten these things down, they always seem to just rust together. right. Next step is going to be getting a means to clear out a spot to drop this bucket. All right, this is a technique that I actually haven't tried, but I've been told that it should work. I got the garden hose down here running, so I'm just gonna put my thumb over it because I don't have a pressure washer, but basically make it high pressure and try to clean up some of the pond muck that's going. Then drop this bucket down the street. It feels like it works somewhat. Before I plug this in, I want to make sure you guys can actually see. There we go. So let's test it. Looks like I'm going to need to get more holes drilled. It drained this out pretty quick, so let me pull this out. All right, let's try that. Woo, boy. How's it gonna work? And to show the difference, clogged up. Much slower this time. Actually, you know what? I think I have a better idea. I'm going to fill it with plain water. Get this tree out of the way if I can. Now, let's take a gander at this. Unfortunately, this will make the whole pond very murky for a while. But I have a lot of water that has a lot of anaerobic breakdown happening. It would be better to get that oxygenated water down into that muck. But I think this is just a baby step. I may need to get a 45-degree, cut that outlet pipe out, or cut it down. I'll probably end up having to get two 45s. 45 to go down into the water and 45 to go back out level. But this is a start. And I may have to tweak this bucket a couple more times. It's looking like it's drawing more water than the bucket is able to take in. Yeah, we might possibly be at it. We can get there.
garden hose is not a permanent thing, that's a temporary thing, obviously. You may have to come down here a couple times a day until I can start getting some of this muck gone. And the nice thing about this, being so close, I can actually direct. I can direct where I want the oxygen getting.
Now that is draining it too fast. And we're clogged up again. I may need to get a filter to block out all this junk. There's definitely a little bit of a learning curve with this. I haven't actually seen anyone show how they built theirs, but I have seen similar projects. Nobody talks about how to make it, so here I am, trying to help out the homestead community. As you see, when I cover it up, the water coming out is lacking air bubbles. Whenever I take my hand away, you can see the air bubbles in that water stream. Well, yeah, this may take several times a day, several days, possibly weeks, until I can go and get some of the pond scum or pond muck cleaned up. It probably helped if I went and pointed this back this way and cleaned this up right here where the water intake is happening. Could also probably get down here with a rake and pull some of that stuff out into where the water discharge is and let it start breaking down that way also. The cleaner I can get over here, the longer the pump is going to be able to run and keep everything oxygenated. Having the big stuff like these trees, not helping the situation. So I will have to come in here, get that tree, get those trees up there. But you know, all in, $110 on the pump. I think I spent another $50 on PVC and glue. So you're looking what, $160? And it'll aerate the pond. It'll aerate it better the longer I do this. But with a regular, you know, $2,000 pond aerator, like the ones that have the air stones, they say something like this, I'd probably only go 15 minutes for the first day, 30 minutes the next day. It takes a while to go and revitalize a pond that has been neglected this bad. back out, you can see the murkiness is venturing its way down that way, which looks bad, but in due time, that's actually a good thing. That means that, you know, all this water is pushing that way. So maybe one day, and then hopefully I can eventually get that stuff right there. See if I can zoom in on that way. Zoom in this way. All of that pond muck. So hopefully I can get that tackled too. As always, have a great day.